more a direct upgrade process. For people running 2009 with the retail add-on, also for the retail add-on, we have a different version. Some doesn't exist actually a direct upgrade process. So you need to do some intermediate activity before to be ready to do the real upgrade to 2012. If you're moving to 2012.1. And also, you can see in the very last line that, oops, sorry, that if you're running 2012 without a tape component, so RTM, you need to make a different kind of upgrade that is named in place. You will see later what means source to target and in place upgrade. Okay. For R2 version, the starting point scenario are more, so the complexity is small. And you can see in the very last line that if you just run the R1 version, should be available in place upgrade, direct upgrade from that version to R2. And as I told you before, there will be also an R3 soon. This different starting point for the upgrade will increase as number and a little bit more complex. In the middle of this situation, many community updates were available from Microsoft, and as I told you, this community update introduced new functionalities. The very last community update was released last Friday. We are talking about the CU7 for Microsoft 2012. On CU7 should be, I didn't check it, but it should be available a new functionality regarding the change management of bill of material groups, so the generation program. And this kind of functionality would be interesting for people who are doing an upgrade. So, you know, we're talking about community update that should get available these days. For some situations, you can see here, some combination of community updates and 2012 version are not allowed to get the direct upgrade process. You still need to make some intermediate activity. That could be longer, it could be long activity, and you see, it's something that you have to consider when you plan a project like this. So, after this short introduction that give you the idea of how possibility you can add when talking about upgrade, let's start with an overview of the technical, let me say, upgrade process. So, the process is made by fundamentally 4 different tasks that you can see in this slide. So, the first step is absolutely plan your upgrade, as I was telling you before. Be clear what is the starting point of your target. Start making a lot of backup because you need to do many of this. And create some environments that needs not only for the test, but really needs for the upgrade process. The first step normally is the code upgrade that you have to do. And this should be, sometimes it's not a more difficult area, but especially if you're coming from 4.0, but also from 2009, there could be difference. Depends how much customization you have done in your system. The other point, maybe more articulated point, is the data upgrade. And especially if you're coming from 2009 and 4.0, is that you have different tasks. You have a pre-processing activity, you have a post-processing activity. In this part of the system, the most critical issue would be how big is the database and the time that you need to do materially the process. So this is something that you need to check before to do the last step. That is the real production upgrade. After that, you try many times the other 3 steps. For a couple of days, for the data upgrade, let's show you some best practice, some information that could be useful to you to plan a project like this. Okay, first of all, of them, really you can carry forward with the new one. It's pretty normal, you know, accept a project that you never use the system. And maybe you have functionality without very set, very seldom use it. So this is the first step to try to have a list of what really needs to be upgraded. Okay? But the other point, and this is sometimes more complicated, understand what are the changes in the version, and the main suggestion that I can tell you, try to use everything, especially try to figure it out if your feature can really substitute what maybe you have modified or the old feature. The best you can do normally is try to move on the standard platform, some process, and maybe do some small modification there, instead to move the old software for all mechanisms. Another point, as I told you, is some feature that I don't use in, if I don't remember, just in 2009 is available functionality that gives you statistics about which object which object is used for many people, about the record and so on. So especially if you have to move records, the first step that you should make is figure out which record are really used from the users. We'll see later that the platform or record is changing from the cloud. So this is another point that you have to consider in the future. Okay. Technical point of view, from the technical point of view, what you have to do mainly is prepare to do the merge of the software layer by layer. Remember that when you move to the cloud, the application folder doesn't exist anymore. Everything goes into models, everything goes in database. So the managing is a little bit different. And what you have to do, you have really to do the process continuously, layer by layer. In this case, it depends how many layers you use for the modification. Okay? The best suggestion is try always to work with your partner, iSpool, because now this time many of them should know exactly how the new version works. It's always developing a functionality and all this, so it's sometimes pretty complicated. Follow the right way to do the upgrade. So first of all, take the data, the table, the send data type, the basic, the fields, everything, and mold the UI again. One small suggestion: when you do the installation of the 25 environment to do the upgrade, don't forget to click always to turn on the flag register for upgrade. This is a flag that you have on the wizard to install the environment for the upgrade. And if you could forget this one, you have to start from scratch. We were one of the first people who wanted to do the upgrade when we first started in 2009. I believe at that time there was nothing implemented for that. So I got a little bit about this flag. I hate this flag. Absolutely. And the other point, doesn't underestimate any kind of activity that the checklist shows you. Try to do everything. Also, if you need time, doesn't try to do something faster than you can, because otherwise you really have to start again from scratch. Some other technical point. We will see later that in the upgrade to 2012, you have to do a pre-processing activity and never do this kind of activity and stack in the test environment and the upgrade environment until you don't have any portable software and do everything. One, you see, some other suggestion that never delete that action element is something strange, but when you move from one version to another one, maybe for all the developers, except that normally in front of the object there is a DL underscore to indicate the object that should be not used anymore in the future. During the upgrading process, some of your personalized objects will have the same destiny. So when you figure out how to move your personalization to a new version, your object that you have personalized in the system cannot be used anymore. And you need to really follow the same step that the normal Microsoft does with the new version. Never delete this object to memory. Use always, there is a configuration key that you have to do with this object, and there is a way that at the end, when you don't need anymore this object, you can delete it in memory. Turn it off, this configuration. This is pretty important. The other part is a funny one. If you have the license of version before, it doesn't work. So don't forget to have the right license for the right environment. Talking about that upgrade, let me try to tell you a couple of concepts. If you're moving from 4.0 to 2009, you normally get to outsource the target. So that means that you have your source made, your source environment that will be moved in a totally new environment. The procedure is a little bit complex because, as we've seen in a few minutes, there is a pre-processing that is run in the production environment, post-processing that run in the target environment, and so on. All this kind of upgrade process was built by Microsoft trying to reduce as much as you can the downtime period for the system. That's the reason because some activity can be run on a production system. Also during the user working there. Another kind of upgrade is what I was trying to tell you at the beginning. We have different release of 2012, and maybe some of you running 2012 needs to think about moving to R3 or 2, something like that. In this case, the process is a maintenance process. Still, you need to use many duplicated environments to do the activity, but at the end, you have a source to target. Theoretically, you do the upgrade of the production environment at the same time. So these are the two different situations. These are the main difference between the two different processes. And as you can see, the first one regarding the old version has a long, big number of scripts that you need to run in the system to do the pre-processing and post-processing. In the upgrading place, maybe the most important area is the code upgrade. Normally, the database upgrade should be the easiest. Starting from 2012 again, right to R2 and R3, there are some architectural changes, but not so many as starting from the other version. Here, a short description, a deeper description of what happened when you make a source to target upgrade process. So what happened in your source environment, in your production environment, you have your production data, and normally when you do both for version 2009 version, you install some software, some XPO that comes with the upgrade process. And this XPO actually creates in the system staging up many tables where through some scripts in the production environment, while the user are working it, you can run these scripts and prepare the data for the next step, for the real upgrade that will happen later. This is the only way, this is the best way that Microsoft found to try to reduce the activity and try to keep on the production environment as much as you can. After this, actually what happens is a data copy process. No problem for the table, system table. What I mean is that if you have done some modification, some tables that are not changed